Hey everybody, it is Szu-Moy and you know what time it is? It is Friday, so it's time to let your hair down, grab a drink, and join us as we chat with real people doing real things extraordinarily. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get all of the notifications right away as soon as it's posted. I am here with my lovely friend. Oh, she's drinking her water. I don't even have anything to drink. This stinks.
Well, I'm on call, so I can only drink water, so it's okay.
I'm with my lovely friend Jenn Roark. Hello, Jenn. How have you been?
I've been really good. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. It is a little noisy back here. She said it's a little noisy over there, but it's all good. We'll make this work. But just a little quick background for the folks that don't know and have just joined us. Jenn and I have known each other for 3 years.
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years, yeah. And we met. How did we meet?
We met at Camp Mars.
Yay! I know.
Okay.
You've been hearing me loud and clear, right? I'm like, I want camp, and yeah,
I
know
I still want camp too. Like I'm. It's weird being in August and not, going to California and going to Camp Mars. So
yeah, I miss it so much. But I'm so happy that I can have you on here and at least see your beautiful face and have everybody else get to know you a little bit as we talk about what you do, because we've been through the last year and a half. Now it's going into, we went through all of 2020 with COVID, and now we're rolling into 2021. We're in August, so it's actually over. Well, no, it's about a year and a half or so that we've been dealing with COVID. And yep, I've got my mask here because I'm on travel, and so I'm in and out and wearing my mask and sanitizing and doing the things that I need to do. But I know it's been a specifically tough year for you. So if you don't mind just telling us what you do in the medical field and what your job is.
Yeah. I am a certified surgical technologist. Basically what that means is I assist in surgeries. I work for a wonderful surgeon in orthopedics. I do actually do other stuff, but I've switched to orthopedics because, as you can see, there's a lot of things going on that orthopedics is just a little less crazy than everything else. So keeps me busy, but it keeps me out of the hot spots of everywhere.
Gotcha. And I know that during the last year when things kicked off, you were pretty vocal about wearing your mask and doing certain things and stuff. So how within the surgery field and within the medical field that you have been touching, how have you been affected by COVID? Because I know that a lot of the medical staff is just run ragged, and there's a lot of things that protocol wise that you guys have to do even more so than you've done, I guess, previously, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, I wear a mask every day. So when I hear people say I can't breathe in it does kind of bug me a little bit because I wear it every day and I breathe fine with them on. And so it's kind of frustrating. We did get to the point where we were wearing our N95s, which we are fitted for, which are hard to breathe in. And they were a nightmare because you can't breathe in those. And then you have another mask on top of it. And then, there's a shortage of masks. The mask I'm fitted for was made in China. And in turn, they discontinued it. So I got fitted for a different one, which also scares people because you're fitted for a certain one. And when you're fitted for that and you can't wear that anymore, you're like, okay, is this going to protect me in this? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be okay? Like, I'm going into working on people that have COVID. They're, I don't want COVID. And luckily I've made it the year and a half without it, even working in the hospital. So I'm grateful for that. Big time, actually. So, masks are important, and, we got to do our part. And one of the biggest things that I was because I talked to my surgeon about us talking today, and he was like, one of the big things is, these people who are still wearing masks, we all should probably still wear masks. I think with the Delta variant that, we shouldn't be mean to the people who are wearing masks. Everyone's wearing a mask because they want to protect themselves. And we shouldn't demonize that. We should be like, hey, you know what? Good for you for protecting yourself and others, instead of this whole like, oh, you're wearing a mask, you can't be vaccinated. There's no way. There's all this stuff. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to be safe.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
just
mean
really
we're vaccinated, and it's we wear our mask, when we're going in and out of places as well. Texas and Florida, of course, have been like the free bird, the hip
yeah.
of this whole entire debacle, I guess you could almost call it. And yeah, definitely free birds and kind of like a little bit more open than most places. And that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as our numbers stay down. But I mean, you have to protect numero uno and those around you. So we do our part when we are going out into public and doing those things. As we're looking into the next scare, which is the Delta variant coming through, and folks are ramping up and things are shutting down again. What do you foresee for us as far as like with your medical staff and your medical background, with this coming back into play?
Well, in Colorado, our numbers are going up just like everyone else's, and um, it's kind of fun in a sense, not fun so much, I guess, but our numbers are going up, but our restrictions and guidelines are going down, like we're going back to normal. And, that scares us a little bit because we're like, wait a second, we still need to protect ourselves. Why are we going down? And the nice thing is that our hospital system is actually sending it back up. Like instead of only wearing masks in front of patients, we're actually required to still wear them all of the time in the hospital, which made me a little happier because we don't know if people are coming in or having COVID, and that's scary to us. The other thing is that, I when this went down in the beginning, there was a lot of people scared to go to the hospital. And one of our friends, our Mars friends, actually reached out and she was like, I'm scared of going to the hospital. I don't want to get COVID, but I think I need to go. And I was like, go. Just know that our hospital systems across the country are very good at making sure if you come in and say, I think I have COVID, we're going to rush you into a quarantine area away from everyone else. We're going to protect you and we're going to protect the people in the ER, in the hospital. We're not going to mix and mingle that. We're keeping people separate. So no, people don't need to be afraid to go to the hospital if you're scared or you're sick or you need to go,
Right.
That's a
Wow.
big.
Yeah, I didn't even. That brings up a good point because I didn't even think of that because I kind of stayed. Well, I stayed away. I do get the allergy shot, right? So I get that once a month. And once COVID hit, they're like, okay, we're gonna stop it, obviously, and then we'll come back in and call you guys when we think it's safe for you to come back in to do your doses. And they called me a while later, but I had already not been taking it for a year. So they're like, do you want to come back in? I was like, no. No,
Want to
thank
hang,
you. I've
no.
already not been taking it for a year. So I'm like, well, I'll just keep taking my other orals and all, my
Yeah.
saline rinses and all that other stuff for my allergies, and I'll just deal with it. It's fine. Because the less, I think, for situations like that, the less of the small, minute things that we can take care of at home that are pushed out to the hospital, I think it's better because we can take care of some of that stuff at home. So I didn't feel like that was like a major, you know, issue to where I would need to go into the hospital. But
Yeah.
what are some of like our common practices that we need to kind of remember and think about if we are going back into shutdown mode?
The big one is wash your hands. Like, I know that sounds so simple and so stupid, but it's actually the best thing to do. I mean, when you're during flu season, it's like wash your hands and, all this stuff. And if you're sick, wear the mask because you don't know unless you go get tested on a regular basis, which, by the way, sucks. I've been tested a handful of times and my
Me
nose
too.
hurts. Nobody wants to get their brain poked. So, washing hands and doing the same things that everyone's been talking about, staying 6 feet away. If you don't need to go do something, then don't. Just the little things. And I know they sound so stupid, but they actually work because they showed that this whole year, the amount of people that got the flu was down so far. And it's crazy how well that worked out. It's like just
Right.
because of masks and washing hands and keeping good
Keeping your
hygiene.
distance, and yes, exactly. So speaking of good hygiene, so this is what I did notice when I was out in public in Texas when we started. We opened up and we're out and about, and we've been out and about. Like I said, we're the hippie state, been out
Right.
the free birds for a while, and I noticed that people are going back to their old ways. They're like, and I was like, cool, and you don't want to look at somebody crazy, but if we are, trying to stay safe and trying to stay healthy and not get sick, then why are we still coughing in our hands and then touching
Everything.
everything afterwards or whatever? And why aren't we still doing what we've been taught and told like for a while? Is to kind of go here or have a napkin or something where you can completely cover your face and cough in that or sneeze in that. I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm a total, violator of coughing into my hand, but I'm like, oh man, I gotta go wash my hands again.
Yeah.
Like you gotta do that, and you're like, ew, gross germs.
Yeah. I think it's an awareness thing, and I think people just like they get back into their old habits and old ways. And I do not do that. I do not cough in my hand. I don't do that. I've not done that for forever. And I start noticing, and I was like, maybe you're just like, or they're just coughing out into the air too. So
Right. Like, oh, thank you for your germs. I appreciate that so much.
yes, it's like, can we just do the tiny little bit of protocol that's required for all of us to be safe and healthy, which is, cover your nose and mouth, wash your hands, and then if you're sick, wear the mask. Yeah.
Right. And, like, I know that there's been a lot about the vaccine and going to get the vaccine and why. I always ask people, like, I know I've been vocal on Facebook to get the vaccine and that, I do, want to know why people don't want to get it. And I've heard some off the wall reasons and I've heard legitimate reasons, and everything has validated. I feel that, our lives are the most important thing to us, and people being nervous about putting something in their system that's, not FDA approved. I get that. I totally get that. We are taught from when we are little kids. The FDA regulates our food, our drugs, and all of that. And we don't need to listen to them. And I think that if we get more information about why this was made so fast and why it's good, it's better than just being told, get the vaccine, get the vaccine, get the vaccine.
Right. So a little bit more education behind it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, the technology that we use and when I say we, the medical field, I didn't make it, but like this technology is not new technology, and that's something that people think this was brand new. It's not. It's technology that we've been working on for years, and it's mRNA technology is a big deal in the world when it comes to cancer and AIDS. They're using these things and trying to use that as a forward motion to cure these things. So they figured it out and they used this for this vaccine, and that's why it was so fast. It wasn't as fast as you think, but it was fast. And good news is that the Pfizer vaccine is actually about to be fully approved by the FDA.
Okay.
Which is very cool. So
yeah, I mean, sure. That's what I got. So
yeah, that one too. Yay, Pfizer. Not that the rest aren't great, but yay, Pfizer, because I have them.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The Janssen one has had some really bad press.
Yeah, and so I always was nervous because it had one shot, and I like the idea that there's two, and that Pfizer will do a booster shot here down the road. So like that right there tells me that one shot is good, but two shots could be better in my mind.
Right.
And I don't know. I like my boyfriend, he wanted to get the vaccine, and he's like, well, which one do you think? And I was like, we'll go with one of the two that have the two shots, because it was right when Johnson & Johnson came out, and I was like, I don't know enough about the Johnson & Johnson one. So, it's interesting.
Sure. Yeah. So my sister actually, she's an RN, and I go to her for everything because I'm a little special when it comes to the hospital. And I'm administered something, I'm usually the 1% that will have the adverse reaction. So I have that as a trend in my records.
Yeah.
And so I asked her, as we're going forward and moving forward with this, since we're so far into COVID, and what should I do? And same thing, what vaccine should I take? She's like, Pfizer. She's like, it's the one with the most, uh, research behind it, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's the one that I took. Did I have an adverse reaction? Yes, ma'am, I did. But I took it and I took it and I was done with it. But yeah, I did have an adverse reaction. Thankfully, it didn't go over the 48 hours, because then I would have been into the ER and they would have been testing me for other things. And I probably would have been a very good candidate for what things that people have for adverse reactions.
1 in 3%.
Yeah. I'm that person. I'm telling you, doctors are like, hey, can we do some further testing on you? Because we've never seen this before. That's usually me.
Our favorite person. We love it when people come in. Like, what is this?
I don't love it that much, though.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did have a reaction. Like, I got mine in December, and like it's interesting because like we're on the front line, and we were the first ones to be like, yes, I want it. Like, no, not all healthcare people want it, and I get it. Again, it's the same thing. It's your body, it's your choice. But I was like, well, maybe I don't want to be the first one. But we were nervous that we weren't going to be able to be in the grouping to get it. So I was like, well, I need to do this because I don't know my patients, and I want to go see my grandma. I mean, I want to see my grandma again, and I'm so excited. I was so excited to go hug her after I got it done. Well, after she got hers done too. But like that was the motivation for me to see my family again. Because in the healthcare system, I didn't hang out with them as much. They'd call me, but I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going. Can't go. Can't do that. I'm just, I'll Zoom call you.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, with my parents too, because my parents, they live right down the road from me, and it was the same thing. If I'm going to tell them to get the vaccine, then I'm going to go get the vaccine too. I'm not going to just say something empty and say you guys need to get it, but what about you? No, we're going to lead by example. And so we went ahead and got it, hubby and I, and he had some adverse reactions too. They didn't have any, but I mean, now it's one of those things where we lost so many because of this, and so we want to move forward and do our best to kind of help where we can. And so, vaccinated or not, I mean, at least do the protocols that you're supposed to be doing so that we can all kind of get through this together and move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not about you, it's about everyone. And we need to everyone needs to do their part.
Exactly.
Even if you don't believe in it,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's even if it's not, okay, maybe you don't have COVID, but you do have some other kind of gunky thing that you can pass on to somebody else. Germs are germs. So,
yeah. And they're gross.
For sure. For sure. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else to add?
Honestly, no, and people who want to, know more, there's plenty of good spots to do it. Don't look on Facebook. Don't look on social media. Go to important sites. The CDC, the government sites. I know that sounds really political, but the government has the links to get to those. And if you want to know more about the vaccine, it's an mRNA vaccine, and those, look up information on those. We need to get back to understanding people who are experts and not, just because my brother's friend's cousin said this. We need to get back. Experts in all this, and that's gonna beat this. Get the right information and do our part, and that's what's important.
Yep, education, knowledge is key. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry we had a little bit of a loud noise and all this other stuff going on, but
on the Zoom part.
For sure. No, it's all good. So just for fun, we like to do a speed round at the end of our little chat. So what's the most satisfying part of your job?
Helping my patients.
Awesome.
Helping them get better.
What about the least satisfying part of your job?
All the gross stuff that comes out of people.
Okay. That's like a whole other conversation, I think.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So how many colors of scrubs do you have?
I only have one because I actually work in the OR, so we get daily scrubs that stay there, which is great. And they're light blue. They're ugly light blue.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I remember those. All right, so last but not least, how many paper towels do you take when washing your hands? Because I know all medical staff has a number. What's your number? Two? Okay, well, you're one of on the far scale over here of the lesser ones. Usually it's like 5.
Yeah. I'm
Awesome.
environmentally friendly with my paper towels.
Yes, so she's got 2. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jen. It was so great to see you, and I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next week. So y'all take care and have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.